Hey guys, today I'm going to be demonstrating how to encase a Mike Mason Reptile Eye Milli. If you've seen my work, I use a lot of these. I've practiced making them a little bit on my own, but nothing close to what Mike's able to produce, so normally that's why you're going to see me using his. I use a nipper to clip them to as close to an even thickness as I can. I've got two 7mm and one 4mm rod. They've all been cleaned off already. That's why you'll see they're rounded off. Now I'm using a 4mm puntee to just do a cold weld to it so I can hold it while I seal the 7mm rod onto it. Didn't get it quite centered the first time, so I'm going back in a second time. If you saw, I just tapped it off and re-welded it back on there. It's not perfect, but centered enough. I just polished that edge just a little bit with the flame. Don't want to get that too hot, otherwise the outside will actually start to condense towards the middle, basically closing the image. Barely getting the milli hot, but I'm getting the 7mm ripping hot, so that way when I smash it onto the face, we won't get any air trapped in between there. Tough to tell from this angle, but I'm focusing all the heat on the clear. You really don't want to get that milli too hot because what'll happen is you'll twist the image. Looks cool, but doesn't really look like a reptile eye anymore if you do that. Here you'll see I've got the 7mm hot sealed, 4mm cold sealed. I'm just going to snap that 4mm off. Sometimes you can use your marber to rapidly cool that area down. Helps create a little bit more stress if you can't get it to snap. I'm just going back in and just lightly polishing that face and going back to a 7mm rod. Then I'll, again, just get it really hot. Get the milli just a little bit red hot. So again, when we smash that on there, we shouldn't be getting any air trapped in between. If I do get air trapped in between, normally that'll end up becoming the back of it. And I'll just try to pick the best looking side for the front. And again, here I'm just focusing the heat on the clear, trying to move that down, marvering it into a nice cylinder shape. Now I'm just gonna cut off the end that I think's gonna be the front. Again, the nice thing about doing these clear each side is I get to pick which side looks best at the end. So don't necessarily know what's going to be the front or the back until I get it fully encased and get a chance to look at each side. Now I'm just using gravity to move the clear down, trying to make it a little thicker. Now at this point I am putting heat into the milli, but I'm spinning it one direction and spinning back the other direction and not using any tooling or anything until it's cool enough. And again, twisting back and forth so that way we don't twist up that pattern. There you saw it's got a decent lens on it now, so I'm gonna attach a puntee to the front of that and then rip off the other side and repeat that same process. Just kind of looking at it right now, seeing if I like that for the front or not. Here I've got my original 4mm that I cold sealed, so I've got to tear that end off so I don't have any bubbles or anything in there. I'm gonna hot seal this to the front, hoping not to distort the lens too much though. You can see the weld there, kind of see the eye a bit. Now I'm going to the back end, flame cutting that 7mm rod off, and I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna try to melt the clear back towards the milli. Looks like I had a little bit of air in there. Oh no, actually, it looks like this one I did decide that was going to be the back. So that's why I ripped most of the clear off, just leaving a short layer of clear there that we'll use to weld onto the piece. And there it is, you can see it fully encased, both sides. Just want to thank you guys so much for your support.